Hear that.
Excellent.
So sweet too.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
All right.
Mayor Jacobs,
I am here.
Committeeman Hickey,
Here.
Mr. Walter.
Here.
Mr. Urbana. Here. Mr. Leonard.
Here.
Mr. Redelius.
Present.
Mr. Giglini is not. Mr. First.
Here.
No Mr. Wild, no Mr. DiMartini, and Chairwoman Beckman.
I'm here.
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Bedminster Township Land Use Board was filed with the Township Clerk, sent to the Bernardsville News and the Courier News and to all subscribers, and posted at the Township Municipal Building, 1 Miller Lane, Bedminster, New Jersey, on January 9th, 2026.
Please stand. The flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll open it up to the public for anything that's not on the agenda.
There is no public online.
Yeah. Anyone in the audience?
From what I can see, no, I believe you just have the app.
Just the okay, so we'll close it to the public. We have minutes to approve from January 8th. If you've had a chance to read them, get a motion.
So moved.
Second. Was that Jeff?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay. Then we got a letter, gee, what a surprise, for postponement to Route 206 till October.
Yes, they had, Gavin sent it to me, I believe, the day of our meeting last time, so it wasn't on their agenda, but it is now official.
October.
Okay. We have a resolution to approve.
Actually, we do not, Tom, we're gonna do that
No?
resolution next week, is that correct?
Oh, I thought I saw it. No?
Yeah, not next week, I think. I don't think you have it yet.
No, I didn't have it for you, that's all right.
Okay, so we'll postpone it till next week. We have no new applications ready for completeness. There. Okay, it looks like we can go to our hearing.
Okay, sounds like it's on. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Duncan Prime from the firm of Prime, Tuvel, and Maselli. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Tesla, with reference to our application here this evening. The property that's the subject of tonight's application is located at 75 Washington Valley Road. That's also designated as Block 58, Lot 14 on the township tax map. The site is situated within the township's VN Village Neighborhood Zoning District and is home to the existing Somerset Hills Shopping Center. We're here before you this evening with an application for preliminary and final major site plan approval to permit the installation of 8 Tesla branded electric vehicle charging stations within existing parking spaces on our site. Included with the charging stations is the associated electrical equipment, as well as some additional landscaping, which we'll get into in testimony. It's important to note that tonight's application is limited to improvements within the existing parking lot of the center only. There are no proposed changes to the building, no expansion, no alteration of the uses, simply a Tesla application in the existing parking spaces already on site. As outlined in the professional review letters, the application does require limited bulk variance and design waiver relief. This relief, is largely related to pre-existing non-conforming conditions on site, none of which are being expanded or otherwise exacerbated with our application this evening. The primary new variances relate to the placement of utility equipment within the front yard setback, and also to have some minimal lighting in the charging station area during the overnight hours. We'll hear in testimony momentarily that these charging stations and the electrical equipment, they operate quietly. The lighting impacts are very, very minimal, and they're fully contained within the site. The proposed landscaping has also been enhanced to screen our operation so you can hardly see it from the street. With that, I'd like to go to our professional witnesses. I do have three. All will be very brief. Would you like me to swear them in all at once, or should we do them on their own?
Yes, that'd be fine. If the
Thanks,
three
Tom.
witnesses would all stand and raise their right hands. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
And please state
Okay.
your names and addresses and spell your last name.
If you guys would, there's a a cordless mic, sorry there, it should be on already.
Jim, you go first.
Okay, James Kyle, Kyle from Kyle McManus Associates, project planner.
Henry Misas, MISAS.
Please speak up, I'm sorry.
Yes, my name is Henry Misas, MISAS, and I'm with Tesla.
Deep Patel, PATEL. I'm with Dewberry Engineers.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Please give us an address. Please get an address for everybody, though, please.
All right, I'll start with, I'll go backwards. Deep, what's your
Yeah,
address?
Deep Patel, 600 Parsippany Road, Parsippany, New Jersey.
Yes, Henry Misas, 160 Van Brunt Street, Brooklyn, New York.
It's 2 East Broad Street in Hopewell, New Jersey.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thanks, Tom. Henry? All right, my first witness is Henry Misas, who has been identified as a representative from Tesla. Let's give a little bit of your background. I'm offering Mr. Misas as simply a fact witness, Mr. Collins, but we'll get him identified with his role in the company so the board knows who they're dealing with. Henry?
Thank
Good
you.
evening. I'm with Tesla. I'm the design manager for this project. I've been working on this for a couple of years, intimately familiar with the project itself. Happy to answer any questions. We're proposing a DC fast charging station for electric vehicles. That just means it's the highest power charging station you can have, so the fastest charge. It's primarily for people that are traveling, so using highways, so they could stop here on their way to their destination. The way that this works is if you drive an EV, an electric vehicle, not necessarily a Tesla, it could be any EV, and you need to charge on the way, you would stop here. The Teslas have this integrated, so if you're driving a Tesla, then the car will tell you where you would stop and charge. So if you're going to New York and you need to charge in this particular location, then the car would route you here. But like I said, it doesn't have to be a Tesla. When you get to the station, there's no attendance. The charging stations are self-operating. They're essentially on, but they're not energized until you actually step out of the car, pull the plug it into the car, and then that's when the charging station itself gets energized and powers the car. Before the charging station powers the car, there's a handshake and a safety check, making sure there's no faults, making sure there's no electrical safety issues. And that process usually takes a few seconds. You'll see a little green logo turn on in the car, and then you're good. The car, for example, will not be able to drive while it's charging, among other safety checks. When the charge is done, you step out of the car, or you go get a bagel, come back to the car, you unplug it, and then off you go. Like Duncan said, the project is 8 charging stations. So we're taking up those eight stalls to have the 8 charging stations. Yeah, happy to answer any questions.
As a matter of safety, you made a key point, Henry. If the car is not plugged into the charging station, it's sitting idle, and someone to run into it, or a kid was out there messing around, is the danger less than if a car was actually charging?
Yes, so the charging station itself is not powered up with high voltage electricity until that handshake that I was saying, all that safety feature happens, and then only then the charging cable would have high voltage power. And if there's some fault or something that happens, then the system automatically would pick that up and turn off or de-energize the charging station. We monitor these stations through the cloud, through the internet. We have a very robust service team. Reliability is really important to us. We pride ourselves in having these stations on because they're really important for customers. So, we go out to the stations, we maintain them, we take care of it. And we do a pretty good job of that.
I'm going to talk about lighting a little later, but it's fair to say that when possible, Tesla likes to operate these stations in a 24/7 manner where a member of the motoring public can come in if they're a late shift worker or they're out late, whatever the case may be, they can come in and charge up during the overnight hours. Is that correct?
Yeah, these stations are primarily 24/7. They're important to have when you're traveling. They're your sort of your ability to travel. That doesn't mean that people are going to come at 3 a.m. most of the time, but every once in a while you will see people using them at the wee hours.
And so we don't need lighting for an attendant if there is not one. The lighting on site, what is that used for? It's basic security lighting, is that correct?
Yes,
we're not adding any over
the like the lamps over the station, just over the stalls, are primarily for people to feel safe.
Great. Any other questions for Mr.
How long does this process take?
The charging process itself?
It depends on which car you have, how full your battery is, the state of charge. But on average, 20 to 30 minutes, I would say, is the regular time that you would spend in a charging station charging. It's good in the sense that you can get out of the car, go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, and come back. We're working on making it faster, but this is the current situation.
I believe all those retails there are closed during the middle of the night, so.
Yeah,
that
10
wouldn't-
o'clock, I think, yeah, is the latest.
I don't know what the latest is, but they wouldn't be able to get a bagel. Is what I'm
Not
trying
at
to
3
say.
a.m., sure.
Yeah.
But we do like to have the stations in locations that have amenities. Shopping centers, convenience stores. We would rarely do a charging station in the middle of nowhere or a place that doesn't have a place, to go and get that cup of coffee.
And realistically, I mean, this may bring in more traffic and customers, but I'm thinking traffic definitely because when you guys put these centers in, they usually appear now on the car's screens, right? Like you set it up. So if somebody's traveling to New York, as you said, and they're running low and they're coming down the interstate, they see this, it'll point them to this charging center, right?
Yes, the UI, we call it
within, just close by, and then I think because we're on the confluence of 2 major interstates here.
Right.
So I think,
Yeah, but we've seen, we're not going to bring hundreds of cars. And moreover, the system, the network, it's all integrated with the cars.
Right.
So if there is, for example, a full station, like all the charging
It'll
stations.
know if they're occupied.
Yeah, and
Right.
the system will
That's
direct you
I've
elsewhere.
seen how I've had it, so I know. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so if they're empty stalls, it'll show up. But you say that Yeah, that all, that other manufacturers can use them now, that it's not just Tesla, is it, right?
Yes, believe a couple of years, maybe 3 years ago, we opened up the network
That makes
to
sense.
any EV.
Now, will this location be open to everyone? There are only certain locations are. Will this one be?
Most of them are open these days. It would be, yeah, I don't think we open at this point and not let other EVs use it. It does get to the actual plug that the car has and the fact whether you have an adapter or not. But Tesla has, it used to be the Tesla proprietary plug, but now it's the North American standard. So, I mean, you're seeing it today where other EVs come with the NACS, the North American charging standard.
This will be from day one open to all vehicles.
Yeah, you could show up in a Ford F1 Lightning and you
What
use the
generation?
Sorry?
Which generation?
He's got it.
Oh, the current generation.
Which one are you for? What's it going to be? You know?
I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, the charging station. This one will be the V4,
It'll be
the
V4.
latest generation
Alright.
charging station.
Now, the location. I mean, this is, I think the intersection. Who picked the location? Did you look and say, this is a location we need based on
Location overall or within the site?
at that site?
Within the property.
Yeah, within that property or the general area. Did you feel that this was the reasoning because of the traffic through there? That, you know who's going through.
We're going to touch on the general area and our
Okay.
engineering in a sec, just so you know.
And
Yeah.
then-
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
There's a few components. I will say firstly, I'm not the project developer. I didn't literally pick the site, but the way that it works, our system shows the demand, in a certain area. We do see traffic patterns. We do see the need for specific areas. Picking a specific location also has to do with which amenities or which landlords and just a lot of things that go into it. But this shopping center happens to be in a really good location, nice shopping center. And yeah, we need this dot to handle the amount of charging needed in the area.
What are the nearest Tesla sites to this location?
Yes, Basking Ridge, I believe, would be the closest one. There's Berkeley Heights nearby, and if you go, that's heading east. But if you go west, I believe Clinton would be the next one.
You guys know anything in Bridgewater?
Yes,
Yeah,
Bridgewater. Yes, thank you.
That's the other end.
Are all of those sites open 24 hours?
Yes.
And is there any security or, I mean, what is this from the township's perspective or police enforcement? You don't offer anything except some lighting, right?
Correct. We don't really have issues with security on the sites, but of course.
Right, so,
There's also no cash or credit card exchange.
sorry?
There's no cash or credit card exchange. It's done through the app.
right,
as well.
I understand.
Okay.
But the point is that
Yep.
people in theory, people come here at hours that they wouldn't otherwise be here, and they wouldn't come for any other reason, just to use the charging station. That's the thrust of the question.
There will be overnight
Right, I
customers
understand.
occasionally, but it is our intent or our desire to have customers come while the center is open. That's usually when the drivers, I'll let Mr. Mises testify, but that's usually when our drivers come fill up so they can go get the bagel or go get the Dunkin' Donuts or whatever else the center offers. They can use those 20 minutes or 25 minutes they're there and get something else done, whether it be eating or they're dry cleaning or whatever it may be. And we can go ahead.
And I've never looked back there, but what are the walkways and the lighting at night? What's that all look like? Do we know?
I think their engineer is going to give you testimony on the engineer is going to put up his site plan and he'll show you exactly how everything lays out.
Backs up to Village Green, fixing.
So would it be fair to say it's kind of like an ATM? People go do their business and leave.
Well, ATM to me is cash transaction, and so I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about
It's
ATM.
not security there. It's just you do the thing and you leave.
Well, they have a camera. I mean, You're also getting cash out of an ATM where you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a little less.
Better analogy.
Question on, the reason I asked about location was queuing is, you have 8 stalls, but that's not usually the whole story. It's the line of cars waiting to charge. I know the Wawa down in Bridgewater is a nightmare, with people coming in. Now, I think it might be alleviated a little bit because you put a new one, the Wawa down at Piscataway, that just opened up. What's your timeline for this? And are you looking at any other in the area, any other locations in the area, and any timelines?
Yeah, we would like to build this station as soon as possible. So if we get an approval today, it takes another 3 months to get a permit, and then we would be constructing it during the summer and opening it end of summer, let's say. But as soon as possible. 2 things to the congestion, to queuing. The main strategy is to build more whenever we need them. So that's really the only way to alleviate congestion. It's a network.
But within the app itself, it will direct. If they know all of them, you can see that and say, this is full, I'm not going to go there, because you don't want to.
Correct. So that's the second part of the strategy, which over the past few years we've started to implement, just real-time direction, meaning because we know that the station is full, our system will direct drivers to the nearest not full station.
Okay.
Of course, it's never going to work perfectly because people are going to have to come here if they need to, but the system does alleviate a lot of that. And I'd say congestion in places like this where it's long distance travel, I don't see it. We don't see it that much these days. It's more if you're more like ride share and in urban places it's a little bit more of a tricky problem.
Somebody mentioned a camera. Do the charging stations have cameras? I know the cars do, but.
No, the charging stations do not have camera.
Anybody else? Or?
I have 2 more witnesses, and I can keep
Sure.
Henry available if you think of
Okay,
additional
we're just
questions.
gonna open this up to the public. Janine?
No,
No?
Tell is the applicant, and no, we do not have any.
No public. Okay. All right, we'll close it to the public and your next witness.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
Thank you, Henry. Okay, Mr. Patel, we had you identified, and your address was given for the record. Now let's get you qualified. Deep, if you can provide the board with a little bit of your background, including any professional licenses you may hold. Yes.
I've been a civil engineer for 7 years with Dewberry Engineers. I got a bachelor's from NJIT in civil engineering, and I also got a master's in civil and structural engineering from NJIT. And I am a professional engineer in the states of New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and New Mexico.
And you've worked on similar charging stations elsewhere for Tesla?
Yes.
Thank you. I would move Mr. Patel as an expert in the field of civil engineering.
Yes, his qualifications as a professional engineer will be accepted. Yes, his qualifications are accepted.
We can't hear you.
Oh,
I think we know his credentials seem solid.
yeah, I agree.
Thank you, Mr. Banish.
I agree.
Okay.
Heard them before.
Okay, Deep, are you able to present? I believe we're going to present on the screen.
Just gonna say something.
Tom, can you say something so we can hear if we can?
Yes, can you hear me now?
He doesn't hear you.
I hear you.
No,
he's
he's
saying
saying
something.
Hear
You
us.
can
We
hear
just
us.
can't
We
hear
just
him.
hear
Yeah.
So, Janine, we'll get back to the issue we had on Monday.
Oh, boy.
So what would you like me to shut off first?
Just keep going.
We're gonna just keep going. Thank you.
Janine?
Yes.
It says host disabled screen sharing. Would you be able to activate that?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Of course I want to share my screen.
Okay.
Should we have Tom call it?
All right, so we gave you the background on Tesla as a company and why we're here, and now we're going to give you the background and the information on where this is going to go on the site. Deep?
Good evening. Sharing on the screen is our current site plan. It's sheet Z5 in the plan set. This is the plan set that has been submitted to the town. It is just an overall proposed conditions of our site as I walk through everything. So, as mentioned before, Tesla is proposing to install EV chargers and associated electrical equipment at 70.
For those of us who forgot our paperwork.
You didn't bring your homework.
Well, you said you were gonna share with me now. Because
Well,
of
the mayor
mayor's-
forgot his
Yeah,
way out.
Oh, thank
Anyone else?
you.
No excuse.
I only have so many.
It's all right.
Okay, let those two guys share.
I'll make Tim share with me.
We'll share your thing.
When you're giving documents, people, please remember where you
That's so long, so long.
Especially when you're giving them like last.
Like a year ago. You're in the file somewhere. Mhm.
So who's that building?
Z5.
C5.
Yeah, that's exactly right here. We'll get some more.
You can share the microphone with someone.
No, it'll feedback. He just has to be on mute. So we did it, we did the other night. We had the same problem the other night.
Chief.
Yes, and with Amanda.
Could he type in?
No, we're just gonna call him on a cell phone and then put it next to a microphone so we
That
can hear him
works.
if he speaks.
Sorry about that.
All right, go with it. Sorry.
That's all right. Should we wait until he's on or keep on? Okay. As part of this proposed installation, we will be adding 8 chargers, 1 supercharger cabinet, 1 1600 amp switchboard, and 1 utility transformer. And this will be located at the eastern section of the existing lot. The existing site is a shopping center with an asphalt parking lot. And the chargers are proposed in an existing sidewalk area. And the proposed cabinets will be proposed in an existing landscaped area that is along the Knox Ave right-of-way. Additional landscaping will be proposed along the Knox Ave right-of-way to help around the cabinets to help provide further screening. And also, as part of this installation, 2 existing light poles will be modified to adjust their timing from dusk to dawn. Per the lighting analysis, there's expected to be 0 foot candles along the existing property line, so we are not expecting any spillover from the lighting. Tagging onto the lighting, the chargers themselves do have an illuminated Tesla logo. That logo only puts out 0.021 foot candles at a distance of 20 feet. So it's very dim and it's basically going to be drowned out by the existing site lighting.
This is on each electrical.
Yes, it's on each charger has a Tesla logo.
Has the Tesla.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
And then pertaining to the equipment itself, decibel ratings, the cabinet is 60 decibels at a distance of 1 meter. And the chargers are 60 decibels at 1 meter below a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius, and anything above 40 degrees Celsius, we are at 65 decibels from a distance of 1 meter.
Any questions for our civil engineer here about the way the site lays out?
Any questions?
Is there gonna be any directional signage on the site so people can get to them?
So there is.
So like if you're coming in off 202, 206, you can find them.
There's not directional signage because when you do type in the user interface, when you're setting it to the charger, it takes you to the charger. So there is no signage, you would just follow your GPS.
Can you explain what additional lighting is gonna be added in this area, if any?
So there is not any additional lighting. The existing light poles that are there will be modified for their timing to run from dusk to dawn.
They go out right now with us.
Okay.
We're at 11 to code.
And who would I talk to about, any additional landscaping and stuff? Would that be, okay, because, the cars are gonna back in. And on Knox Ave, that's all residential living. Yeah, that path is all residential there. So when they're backing in, the headlights are going to be straight ahead. Now, I know the headlights go off sometimes, unless someone's in there, puts the foot down. Is there going to be any additional that's going to prevent any of those headlights from being seen by those homes? Or do we think the wall's high enough right now? Have you looked into that?
Yes, so I'll pull up a photo simulation so you guys can see from when you're at the charger and looking at that wall, so you guys can get an idea of the landscaping. So this is our site plan where you see the
You zoom in on part of our application.
yes, this was submitted.
Is there any change since exhibit is presented?
No. So photo 5, so let me just zoom in. So photo 5 would be the direction of your headlights. The way if you backed in and then you're facing that Knox Ave.
Okay.
So I'll go to photo 5. This would be your view. So that's the existing retaining wall. And then you can see we're adding additional trees on the top side of that retaining wall. So as you can see right now, it is pretty dense. After you pass Knox Ave, there are additional trees before you even get to that residential area.
Now, will those trees be green all year long, or will they lose leaves? Will this be a shade, a buffer all year long? Or
So the ones that we're planting will be year-round green. They're evergreens. The ones behind, they look like the ones that are going to go in the fall.
Okay, all right. So it's a constant buffer. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Could I ask a follow-on to that?
Go ahead.
question? Was there any thought given to having the headlight issue pointing away, using the spaces that are where the car is right there, as opposed to the ones closer to the building?
So it wouldn't necessarily make a huge difference, only because some cars have it on the back and some cars have it on the front. So not every car would back in, some cars would pull forward. So if I'm on that side and then you pull forward, you're still shooting that way.
I think Tim's point really is dense evergreens are the thing that's going to cut off usually they're close to the headlights. So something 3 feet high will block headlights, where when the headlights are this far back, you're going to need something bigger to make a difference further away. But we'll work on that.
Yep.
Anyone
Thank
else on the board?
Not, I have one final.
If I could, I only want to go through my letter and talk about things that you are not going to be able to address.
No, let's start there.
Which ones can you not address? The first question that I see that has not been talked about yet is the access point connectivity.
We have the Boswell letter.
Oh.
Are there any items in here that we cannot address? Was it need clarification or testimony otherwise?
If you really can't, the plan changes, the only item that needs to be addressed is D1 as to what the charging point little antenna is for.
The antenna for the connectivity,
Yes.
that's for the equipment itself to be able to talk to the Tesla database. So it's not a public Wi-Fi system.
So that's what the first witness was talking about relative to monitoring the
Correct.
system. That's why that's there.
Correct.
Okay. And you'll make any other changes in the letter.
Yes.
That's easy.
Will a garbage can be provided? A garbage can?
Don't believe we have one.
Because everybody, you're sitting around and next thing you know, you're emptying out your car and you get rid of stuff.
We do frequently put trash cans in our stations, but this one, there is an existing trash can nearby under that pergola that's.
I would just ask that if it gets approved, that it be within a certain distance.
Absolutely.
Or have one there, because, like I said, it's, when you go to these things, they're loaded up a lot of the times. And I guess.
Or even buying stuff in that wrappers.
Yeah.
When I was there, I thought it was fine with the existing trash that was there. But we have no issues putting another
We
one.
can certainly add,
If that's.
Work with the owner, just, something close by, because it does get messy.
Under the pergolas, I'm pretty sure there was a trash.
Yeah, there probably is. It's just not showing.
We're gonna work with the owner, we'll take a look. If it's close enough under the pergola, we'll keep it, if not, we'll add.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Do you ever put motion sensors for the lights so they kick on when somebody comes close? Or are the lights just bright all night?
Security lighting? That's all.
The two, you have two,
They're the same level all night.
they're the same level.
Well, they're not on all night right now. They're supposed to be on all night.
Right, but I mean, do you ever consider having when somebody drives up, it kicks the sensor and then they come on?
I would say our preference is just to have the lights on, because that way people feel safe driving in and getting out of the car and using the station. So yeah, so we would
I
definitely
think a
prefer
potential issue
on-road.
there, George, is I understand what you're getting at, is anytime there's motion in the parking lot, they will go on and off.
Well,
And that can be at least as annoying as the lights on all the time. And if you've got somebody there and they're in their car and they're charging, the light goes off while they're in their car. And then they open the door and it comes back on. And it's, I think the on and off is,
Yeah, the
in my
neighborhood
opinion,
impact would
These
be
are also
worse.
two standard poles, there's no additional lighting from what's there, and our testimony is there'll be zero spillover foot candle at the property line. So there's no lighting going outside.
well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Now, one other question. You're not taking a handicap space, or are you? No, okay.
It's too existing.
But one of these will be a handicap spot, though.
One's
Yes.
required, so I think it's-
Yes,
So
there will
are
be
you
one
adding a
ADA.
handicap spot?
Yes, we're adding one ADA stall for the
Gotcha.
charging.
For the equipment that's gonna be near the road, what's the plan for that? 'Cause that's gonna be a little bit of an eyesore, yay, nay? What are you gonna plan on doing then?
There is additional landscape screening proposed around that area as well. Here, I'll pull up a photo simulation so you can get an idea of what it would look like.
Has this photo sim also been submitted?
Yes, it's all part of the same package. So this is that equipment area, and these are the trees that the trees, shrubs, and there's also ornamental grass that would be in that area.
Okay. So there'll be two enclosures there? How high?
The cabinets themselves,
cabinets.
they're about 6 to 7 feet tall.
And they're white?
Yes, the equipment's white.
Anybody else on the board?
Okay, my last witness is our professional planner,
Okay.
Kyle. Jim, what do you want us to leave up here? All right, Jim, just like Mr. Patel, we had you identified for the record, your address was given, but let's give the board a little snippet of your background, professional licenses and any educational experience that you have.
Okay, I've been a professional planner licensed in New Jersey since 2001. I actually worked with Mr. Banish for 5 years, 25 years ago. I have a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Planning and Design from Rutgers, which I received in 1996. Been practicing since that time, licensed since 2001. I'm also a member of the American Institute of Certified Planners. I've appeared before over 300 boards in the state, including this one.
I would recommend we accept it. He will go on and on. Except,
Sounds like
We
it's
may have
okay.
questions about.
Oh, please do. I would enjoy it.
About his
where he got
experience,
trained, you mean? Maybe?
prior employment, I think is the issue.
Yeah, I see.
Prior
Cute, very cute.
All right, Jim, you've been accepted.
So this is an application for site plan approval. The municipal land use law was amended in 2021 to allow these types of accessory uses as permitted. Typically 4 or 5, 5 years ago, we used to have to go get use variance approval for these facilities. So they enabled that through the municipal land use law. Normally, it would not require site plan approval. However, we do require variance relief. So that's what brings us to the board. There are 2 variances, as Mr. Prime said. There's front yard setback relief for the supercharger cabinet and the transformer. So that, where the walking path is, that's actually a paper street, so it's considered a front yard as well. So we have a front yard in Washington Valley. We're 28 feet there where 30 is required. And then we are 3 from the right of way where 30 is required. So that's the bulk variance relief we need there. We also need a bulk variance for an increase in impervious coverage. So the improvements that we're constructing is increasing the impervious coverage by 0.14%. 40% is what's permitted in this district. Right now, the site's at 86.6, and we will be at 86.74 after this installation. So there's a pad for the transformer, pad for the cabinet, and then in that area where we're putting the chargers in, we're going to expand that sidewalk closer to the building to make sure we have enough clearance for folks to walk through there. There are 2 design waivers. The first is from 13504.1E. That's to permit the lighting to be on for those 2 light fixtures after 11 o'clock. There's a second design waiver, wasn't noted in the professionals reviews, but as I was going through the ordinance, I caught it. So we're going to amend to request this. 13501.4 does not allow accessory structures in a front yard. So that's in the design requirement. So that would be another design waiver. It's kind of similar to the bulk relief for the front yard setback, but I just want to make sure we capture that as well. So as far as the 2 bulk variances, we'll talk about these under the C2 criteria, where purposes of the MLUL are promoted and the benefits would outweigh any potential detriments from the granting of the relief. Excuse me. Here, the purposes promoted would be A, to promote the general welfare, and also M, to promote the efficient use of land. So granting the relief here enables us to install these chargers. If you've been out to the site or you know the site well, the parking lot on the wall is fairly close to that right of way. So there wasn't really, that was really one of the primary reasons we couldn't locate it on that side on the perimeter. The other thing is with the grade change. So in order to put the chargers on that side, we would have to shift the whole drive aisle to accommodate the 3 feet or so that we need to fit the charging station. So it would have upset the configuration of circulation. Here in this location, we can push that sidewalk back, put the charging post behind the curb, and have a safe installation on that side. This site is well suited to these chargers for the reasons that we've talked about. One, close proximity to 287 for the traveling public. To me, what I see is, the Hills has been here for a long time. We have multifamily units there. Some people might have access to level 2 charging in their garage if they have a townhome. But if you live in an apartment, you really don't have any hope of, having a charging facility outside your house. They're not required to put them in because the law only changed, 4 years ago. Some landlords are taking action in doing this just because tenants would want it. But this also provides a benefit for a lot of the folks that live around here. If they want to go get a fast charge, 20, 25 minutes, they can do that. Particularly if they're in a jam, say their charge didn't work at home. So it's not just a benefit for the general public traveling. It would be a benefit for residents who live in the area because then they'll have access to this level 3 charging, which is important. And all this is really, again, to help enable, per the State Energy Master Plan, we're trying to electrify the transportation system, reduce emissions. In the end, it's a benefit to the environment if we're using electric vehicles. As to purpose M, this is really taking an existing developed site and just adding this amenity to it. And again, we've located these facilities in what we think is the most sensible place on the site. And really, as far as the location of the transformer and the charging cabinet, there wasn't really enough ground area. They're better off on the perimeter of the property as opposed to areas where people are circulating. So that it seemed to be sensible to locate it there. So it's an efficient use of an existing developed site. We have to show the negative criteria as well. There's no substantial impact to adjacent properties, and no substantial impairment to the intent purpose of the zone plan. So as far as any impact to adjacent properties, as Mr. Patel said, the charging equipment is not a significant source of noise. The lighting that is associated with this, even the lighting that we're proposing to modify, meets all the requirements of the ordinance. It shouldn't present any nuisance factors. Shouldn't be any issues with glare, anything like that from these facilities. And here the offset is that we're going to propose additional landscaping, as was shown in the photo simulation, at the top of the wall. So the adjacent property, there's a residential structure that's on the opposite side of the path. That, by my estimation, is a good 6 or 7 feet higher than this site. So there shouldn't really be too much of an issue with visibility from that location, and supplementing that evergreen landscaping along the top of the wall is going to help with that. Likewise, for the equipment that we're putting out by Washington Valley, what I would suggest, if the board is comfortable with it, is that we work with either Mr. Banish or Mr. Ferraro, and we can choose appropriate plants that are going to screen that as effectively. So evergreens would certainly be in order. I think we had boxwood that were on the plan now. So if it's okay with the board, we'd work with Mr. Banish to come up with a screening plan for the transformer pad. And then also what we're going to supplement across the top of the wall. So that'll really help reduce a lot of the visual impact of what we're proposing and kind of mitigate the negative criteria on the variances. On the coverage variance, as far as any potential negative, this is really a de minimis increase here. A little bit more for the sidewalk reconfiguration and then for the pads that we're proposing. So the one thing I'll point out is it shouldn't result in any significant additional runoff. The transformer pad and the charging cabinet pad are kind of disconnected impervious surfaces because they're in grass. So in all likelihood, that water is going to flow off into the grass. Some of it will get into the ground. Some might flow over to the parking lot, but it's not going to be a significant increase to the point where it would be any concern in terms of stormwater management or anything like that, which is the important part. As far as any impact to the zone plan and zoning ordinance, I did go through the 2018 re-exam as well as the master plan. Like most communities I work in, there's no specific rationale in the master plan for why a 30-foot setback, why a 40% coverage. But these things are discussed in general in the master plan, particularly stormwater. So obviously water quality concerns are of prime importance. So it talks about things like that. So I think if you look on its face at the increase in impervious coverage, it shouldn't substantially impair the intent of those standards. Again, a de minimis increase that won't impact stormwater at the site. And as far as the front yard relief, again, not specifically discussed in the master plan, but typically this is an issue where we want to make sure we're not impacting views from the street, particularly with accessory structures that are in the front yard. So here the landscaping is really critical to us being able to mitigate any potential substantial impairment as a result of the grant of the relief here. Also, these are two relatively small structures. While the charging cabinet's 7 feet tall, they're not imposing structures in terms of their spread. So it's not a huge visual intrusion into the front yard. And again, the landscaping should take care of most of that impact.
Are there cooling fans on these chargers?
So yes, the charging stations themselves do have cooling. They have radiators, small fans. They get hot, so we need to cool them.
Can you address any potential particulate contamination caused by these fans?
As far as I'm aware, there's no.
You're not aware of any
contamination
issues of
from-
elevated particulates?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, that's interesting.
Just to finish up real quick, so we do have to address the two design waivers that we're requesting. So the MLUL provides a separate standard for the approval of design exceptions and waivers. And it's basically, we have to demonstrate that it either causes a hardship or it's impracticable. And there's a case, Garofalo v. Burlington Township, where the court said the board just needs to ensure that the waivers are reasonable under the facts. So here, particularly for the lighting waiver, as we talked about, we want people, when they show up, if they're showing up after hours, to have adequate lighting so they can see what they're doing, feel safe. So I think that makes sense. There shouldn't really be too much impact, if any, from the modification to the lighting. These are shielded fixtures. As I said, the residential areas are at a higher grade. And we have all that landscaping that'll be in between. And as shown on the lighting plan, we have 0-foot candles at the property line. So there shouldn't be any issue with that. For the accessory uses in the front yard, I think the hardship here is that, as I said, we were trying to find a location not in a paved area that had adequate room to locate this. Also at the perimeter of the property, so it's not in and amongst where a lot of people are walking. And there were very few locations in which we could do that. They had to have reasonable proximity to the charging posts as well. So this seemed like the most sensible location for that to achieve all those objectives and keep people safe, and then also be able to adequately screen these facilities as well. So I think we can meet the standard under the MLUL for the granted design exceptions as well.
Questions on our professional planning testimony?
Yeah, you're not, are you aware of any pollution associated with these chargers and the fans?
The fans are for radiators, so the system gets hot and the fans just help the radiators dissipate the heat. So there's no.
So
no
you're not aware of
particulates.
any studies that have been done that measure elevated particulates in the air around these fans? I just want to be clear, you're not, you say you don't know anything about it.
You know of any studies like that?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's very interesting.
I have a question. If somebody utilizes the charging stations and they want to get a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts or maybe go to one of the other pizzeria or whatever, are the lines going to be marked in terms of walkways and stop signs? How's that all going to go?
These are going where existing parking spaces are on the site today, and there's a sidewalk that we're going to push a little farther from the curb so we have adequate clearance. So you'll be able to get out of your car, up onto the curb, and take a sidewalk all the way to the front of the store.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
Any other board member?
Look at the detail on, this is just a small thing I noticed. The detail for the accessible station, you need to do like a ramp there to get up to the sidewalk, or is it showing it as a step? I'm just curious.
We'll take a look.
Yeah, I can answer that.
Yeah, I probably
charge-
should have asked the site engineer. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a big deal, I'm just curious.
There's no proposed ramp in that area.
Okay.
It's the ADA clearance on the side, so we just have a depressed curb just to meet
Right.
that.
The plan shows an existing ramp with a detectable warning circle.
Yeah, there's one right down
Right there,
where the
but not over.
existing spaces are.
No, not where the
Okay.
ADA spot.
Correct, that the existing ramp, we would, somebody would be able to use that existing ramp.
They would get out and walk to the existing if they needed to.
Yeah, that's the intent.
Can I just make?
Go ahead, Frank.
Sure. I had to check because George usually doesn't say something like that if there isn't something to it. So I asked my genius, whatever here.
Mhm.
It says, excellent question. I said, do those fans on the charging stations cause particulate pollution? Yeah, short answer is yes. The long answer is the fans and electric vehicle charging stations in general can create a negligible amount of particulate pollution, but it is minuscule as a fraction of the pollution avoided by using all electric vehicles. So it's a trade-off essentially. What's happening is, yes, there's some of that, but compared to what the car would be doing if it was a gas motor, there's a lot less. I think that's what that was saying. Good
Does that
question,
answer
though,
your
George. I think it was.
question,
Well, what you just read is only one little snippet. There's other studies that show that it's twice the amount of pollution next to an area that doesn't have the cooling fans, okay, and the chargers. And I just wanted the gentleman to acknowledge and talk about that. But it's just very curious you don't know about it, but, it's your gate.
It's our position. He doesn't know about it. I think
I
if
get
he
that.
did, he would
I
certainly
get
share.
that. It's very curious to me, but, curious George.
You asked a lot of questions. All right. Anyone else on the board have any questions?
Madam Chair, that concludes our presentation as a whole. Our testimony is done. We're happy to answer any questions from the board or the staff.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
I don't have anything else. I've got Tom, I think, on my speakerphone. Tom, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Paul and everyone. Are we ready for a motion?
I would say yes.
So it's a motion to approve the preliminary and final site plan and related C variances and site plan exceptions for the Tesla application as described this evening, subject to the standard conditions and subject to Paul and Frank's review reports. They will arrange with the site owner to locate a garbage or refuse container within a short distance of the chargers. And they will install landscape plantings of materials and at locations reviewed and approved by the township planner. The approval will be effective this evening, so the applicant is authorized to proceed effective immediately, provided all other requirements are met. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mary Jacobs,
Aye.
Committeeman Hickey,
Aye.
Mr. Walter.
Aye.
Ms. Urbana,
Aye.
Mr. Leonard,
Aye.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Nay.
Mr. First,
Aye.
Chairwoman Gotcha.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Time,
Thank
yes.
you.
Good seeing everyone. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for simulations. They're excellent.
Anyone on the board have anything they'd like to discuss or talk about, comments? No?
No, thank you, but thank you for asking.
You're thankful. You're thanked that we're thankful. All right, so we have Somerset Air Service next week on the 12th.
And those
Okay.
are the plans that you should all have on your desk.
Tim, remember to bring them.
Okay.
After.
What is the attendance look like for that week?
Attendance by the board. Attendance by the board. Have you any indication as to what the board looks like next week?
That's right.
Steve's asking if everybody's attending.
No, I do not. I did not send out. I was going to do that tomorrow
early.
with the agenda and everything else. But as you can see, there's two people here that I thought were coming, so I don't always know.
Is that week planning or is it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's everybody again. So,
Looks like we'll be
Stephen,
okay.
if you can, obviously let me know, but I'll send out an email tomorrow with the agenda and anything else that I have. Also, everything will be posted on the website, usually by about noon, because I take down this agenda and all the links, and I'll put up all of Somerset Airports tomorrow. So even the plans you don't have, they'll be up on the website.
Okay. Then we have AT&T for the first meeting in March.
Correct.
Okay.
Can I say special meeting?
Oh, for the,
I think I
Fair
should
share
tell them
plan?
in case they want to explain. Frank?
no, just,
Larry.
no, just hold off on that.
No, don't tell us.
No, hold off on that.
No
Until we speak to Ballard, I want to see the time.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we have a quorum, that's all. I'm holding off.
Now you piqued our interest.
All right.
You've talked enough.
Okay.
about cold snap?
Yeah, really. Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
So Frank and Paul,
Good night,
I just
everybody.
talked
Thank
to
you,
you.
Paul.
So long, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye, Tom.